Good afternoon. Am I audible to you? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Okay. We will wait for 2 3 minutes more. Let more learners join, then I will start. Okay, good afternoon once again. Welcome to the session for MMPC 008. Today we will be talking about Unit 13, 14, and 15. They are data warehousing and data mining, artificial intelligence and decision support system, and emerging trends in IT. Now, what is the operational and informational databases? There are several reasons that have compelled information system designers to accept that even the latest technology cannot be optimized to support both operational and informational or analytical processing in a cost effective manner. The reason may be like the data required is different, the information required is different, the technology required is different, the user community is different, the access pattern is different, and the processing characteristics are different. High level business objectives provide the framework for competitiveness and growth to an enterprise in the long run. To set realistically achievable objectives and monitor the company's performance against them, managers need information on subjects like customer, what the customer need and their preference, products, that is the company's offering vis-a-vis competitors, suppliers, that is the production lead times, and the distributors, that is the location. It is also beneficial to aggregate measures like quantities of products and sales values across the various dimensions like geographical region and time, and compare them with the yardsticks like budget, forecasts, previous year actuals, and industry average. In today's world, surrounded by IT and its application, it is more imperative as they may be considered as the basic requirements for an online business. Information systems have evolved from the master file, transaction file, and the sequential processing of the 1960s to DBMS based random access processing till 1970 to high performance transaction processing during the 80s to decision support system built around the existing operational, informational, and virtual databases. The traditional IT departments are limited with resources when faced with the need to provide strategic information. Using data in operational databases, find themselves inadequately equipped to respond. The solution to the problem lies in the paradigm, the data warehouse. It is an environment that is specially designed to hold data required to support complex analysis and detection of patterns, trends, and deviations. The characteristics of such an environment can be summarized as: it provides an integrated and total view of the enterprise, makes the enterprise current and historical information easily available for decision making, makes decision support transactions possible without hindering operational systems, and rendering the organization's information consistent. Now, what is data warehouse? The concept of data warehouse given by Bill Ilmon, the father of data warehousing. You can see a cylinder, that is a warehouse, data warehouse. What does this consist of? It is of subject oriented, integrated, time variant, non volatile, and collection of data in support of managerial management's decision. Now, what are the characteristics of data warehouse? First one is subject orientation. That is, data warehouse data of an organization are arranged and optimized to provide answers to questions coming from diverse functional areas within a company. Therefore, the data warehouse contains data organized and summarized by meta data and keywords, that is like by topic such as sales, marketing, finance, distribution, transportation, etc. These are the terminologies which are or the departments which basically work under an organization. Time variancy. DSS data includes a time element in contrast to the operational data, which focuses on current transactions. The warehouse data represents the flow of data through time. The data warehouse can even contain projected data generated through statistical, and other models. Non volatility, that means it's not going to escape. Once data enter the data warehouse, they are never removed because the data in the data warehouse represents the company's entire history. The operational data representing the near time history are always added to it. The near time history information is gathered and stored by data collecting IT tools. One such example by IBM is Omegamon XE for their DB2 or DBMS. Then comes integration. The data warehouse is centralized, consolidated database that integrates data derived from the entire organization. Thus, the data warehouse consolidates data from multiple and diverse sources with diverse formats. Data integration implies a well organized effort to define and standardize all data elements. This integration effort can be time consuming, but once accomplished, it provides a unified view of the overall organization situation. Now you can see how this diagram shows depicts the warehouse managers. Data at the top you can see that there is data, information, and the decision. Data will be the load manager, which is operational data and data from the external source. It is processed at the center where it becomes an information which is metadata, data, and summary information. This is processed at the center and then the output is obtained. It is the data miners or the OLAP tools, how the data is extracted. Then the question is what is load manager? Data flows into the data warehouse through the load manager. The data is mostly extracted from the operational databases and other internal sources like archived historical data and supplemented by data imported from external sources. For example, a gas pipeline operator in Western countries like USA, UK, Canada, etc., may use weather forecast data from the country's meteorological office on a regular basis to determine demand for gas, the main source of energy used for heating homes and offices in various areas of the country. Types of data from external sources that may be included in data warehouse are financial indicators and statistics of the industry, market share data of competitors, demographic data, weather credit, weather data, credit worthiness data, readership, viewer survey data for the advertising media, specially commissioned surveys, and so on. But that the list is too long. It depends upon the organization what type of information they want. External data is usually obtained from commercial database services or government agencies, that is Met Office, Celsius agencies, industry association, stock exchanges, local government statistics surveys, and many more. The load manager primarily performs what is termed as extract transform load ETL operations, which includes data extraction, data transformation, and data loading. Data extraction, this is a function that has to deal with numerous data sources. Appropriate techniques have to be employed for each data source. Source data may be from different sources machines in diverse data formats. Part of the source data may be in relational database system. Data extraction can become a quite complex operations at times. Various tools are available on the market for data extraction. After extraction, the data needs to be kept somewhere for further preparation. Sometimes the extraction function is performed in the legacy platform itself if that approach suits the design framework. Here, what I'm discussing about, there are so many fundamental things. What we have already discussed. Now, that is as the subject moves on, their application is discussed. You might be thinking that some of the terms you have heard and some of the terms are new for you, but that is as the subject proceeds. The terms proceed, but the theory remains the same. In the separate environment, the source data may be extracted into a group of flat files or an intermediate relational database or a combination of both. This physical environment is called the data staging area. Then comes data transformation. In every system implementation, data conversion is an important function. For example, when implementing an operational system such as magazine subscription application, the database has to be initially populated with data from the existing system records. Data for a data warehouse comes from many disparate sources. If data extraction for a data warehouse poses great challenge, data transformation presents even greater challenges. Another factor in the data warehouse is that data feed is not just an initial one-time load. Once loaded, it will remain forever. A number of steps are involved as part of data transformation. First, the data extracted from each source is cleaned. Cleaning may be correction or misspelling, etc. Systematic standardization is another major task. Synonyms and homonyms have to be resolved. Resolution of synonyms is required when two or more terms have different source system, means the same thing. One, on the other hand, when a single term means many different things in different source system, resolution of homonyms have to be performed. Data transformation involves many forms of combining pieces of data from the different sources. In some areas, data from single source record or related data element from many sources records are combined. The end result of data transformation is a collection of integrated data that is cleaned, standardized, and summarized. Now the data is ready to be loaded for populating the data warehouse. Data loading. Two distinct groups of tasks form the data loading function. After completion of the design and construction of data warehouse, when it goes live for the very first time, the initial loading of data is done. The initial load moves large volumes of data, which may take substantial amount of time, but it is a one-time effort. Then comes your query manager. The query manager provides an interface between data warehouse and the user. It performs tasks like directing the queries to the appropriate tables, generating views on an ad hoc basis if required, monitoring the effectiveness of indexes and summary data, and query scheduling. Data warehouse design consideration. When we are designing a data warehouse, what has to be kept in mind? The key consideration including in the design of data warehouse are time span, granularity, dimensionality, aggregation, and partitioning. As far as your time span is concerned, in short, data warehouse data tends to be historic in nature. That is, the data warehouse represents companies' transactions up to a given point in time. yesterday, last week, last month, and so on. The time period for which the data is held in the data warehouse is determined by the data analysis requirement of the users of the data warehouse. These needs, in turn, arise from the changes in the business environment that a particular organization needs to monitor in its effort to stay ahead of the competitors. Some companies use the data for 10 years, some of them use for 3 years, some for 5 years. That is basically that depends upon the criteria fixed by the company. Then comes your gra- granularity. According to Inmon, the single most important design aspect of data warehouse is the decision on granularity. It refers to the level of details or summarization available in units of data in the data warehouse. The more details there is, lower is the level of granularity. The less details there is, the higher level of granularity is there. Dimensionality. This is probably the most distinguishing characteristics of a data warehouse. From the data analyst point of view, the data is always related in many different ways. For example, when we analyze product sales by a customers during a given time span, we are likely to ask how many widgets of type X were sold to customer Y during the last 6 months. Then comes aggregation. We have seen how data analysis queries directed at the data warehouse involves dimensions. Another very common type of query directed at data warehouse involves sums of values along the different dimensions. To avoid excessive processing load on the data warehouse arising from frequently asked queries of this type, it is often decided at the design time to store some pre-calculated aggregations. Then comes partitioning. One of the essence of data warehouse is flexible data storage, master and access. When data resides in large physical units, among other things, it cannot be indexed easily, sequentially scanned if needed, rest, restructured easily, backed up conveniently, recorded easily, and monitored easily, and so on. Now comes data warehouse schema. One of the key questions to be answered by database designer is how can we design a database that allows unknown queries to be performed? This question encapsulates the differences between designing for a data warehouse and designing of an operational database and information system. In a data warehouse, one designs to support the business process rather than specifies query requirements. In general, the queries directed at the data warehouse tends to ask questions about some essential facts analyzed in different ways. For example, reporting on the average number of light bulbs sold per store over the past month, the top 10 most viewed TV programs from a TV channel or channels during the last or the past week, top spending customers over the past quarter, and customers with average credit card balance more than rupees 50,000 during the past year. Each of these queries has one thing in common. They are all based on factual facts. The content and presentation of the results may differ between examples, but the factual and transactional nature of the underlying data is the same. One of the major technical challenges within the design of data warehouse is to structure a solution that will be effective for a reasonable period of time, that is, at least 3 to 5 years. This implies that the data should not have to be restructured when the business changes or the query profile changes. This is an important point because in more traditional applications, it is not uncommon to restructure the underlying data in order to address query performance issues. Inherent advantage of factual transaction is that their content is unlikely to change, regardless of how it is analyzed. Also, the majority of the data volume of a data warehouse comes from factual information. It is therefore possible to treat fact data as read only data, and the reference data used to interpret the fact data as data that is liable to change over time. The dimensional information represented by the reference data is often organized in form of concept hierarchies that are used for analysis and designing warehouse aggregations. Now we have heard of metadata. Now the question is, what is meant by metadata? Metadata is a data warehouse which is similar to the data dictionary in the context of a database. It stores data about data in that data warehouse. What are the different types of metadata? Metadata is a data warehouse, falls into three major categories. The first one is operational metadata. Second one is extraction and transformation metadata. And the third one is end user metadata. As far as operational metadata is concerned, we know that data for the data warehouse comes from several operational systems of the enterprise. These sources system contains different data structure. The data elements selected for the data warehouse have various field lengths and data types. Selecting data from the different source files and loading it to into the data warehouse requires splitting of records, combining parts of records from different source files, and dealing with multiple coding schemes and field lengths. Extraction and transformation metadata. Here, extraction and con- transformation metadata contains data about the extraction of data from the source system, namely the extraction frequencies, extraction methods, and business rules for the data extraction. End user metadata. The end user metadata is the navigational map of the data warehouse. It enables the end user to find information about the data warehouse. The end user metadata allows the end user to use their own business terminology and look for information in those ways in which they normally think of the business. What are metadata requirements? According to InMol, a new user approaching a data warehouse wants to know what tables, attributes, and keys does the warehouse contain? From where did each set of data came? What transformation logic is applied in loading the data? How has the data changed over time? What aliases exist and how they are related to each other? What are the cross references between technical and business? How are the components? Warehouse metadata is not very different in a kind from ordinary database metadata, although it is versioned in order to permit historical analysis. Prism given the following breakdown of warehouse metadata in its topic metadata in the data warehouse. Mapping. The mapping information records how data from operational sources transformed on its way to the warehouse. The typical contents are identification of the source field, simple attribute to attribute mapping, attribute conversion, physical characteristics conversion, and coding reference table conversion. The thing is that when you are adding something, the system has to identify to which position it has to be added up. Now, the thing is that extracting the history. Whenever historical information is analyzed, meticulous update records have to be kept. The metadata history is a good place to start any time based report because the analyst has to know when the rules changed in order to apply the right rules to the right data. Data warehouse and the web. Professor Peter Drucker, the senior guru of masters practice, has admonished IT executives to look outside their enterprise for the information. He marked that the single biggest challenge is to organize outside data because change occurs from the outside. He predicted that the obsession with internal data would lead to being blindsided by the external forces. The majority of the data warehousing efforts result in an enterprise focusing inwards. However, the enterprise should be keenly alert to its extremities. As market becomes turbulent, an enterprise must know more about its customers, suppliers, competitors, government agencies, and other external factors. The change that takes place in the external environment ultimately gets affected in the internal data. But by then, it will be too late for the enterprise. Proactive action is always better than reaching to the external change after the effect has felt. That means you have to be on your toes every time external change has to be incorporated into the system. Reliability of web content. We always say that data is very huge in nature, but we have to see the reliability of the content. Many questions are reliability of web content as they should. However, few analyze the reliability issues to any depth. The web is a global bulletin board on which both wise and foolish have equal space. Acquiring content from the web should not reflect positively or negatively on its quality. Think of web resources in terms of quality and coverage. But you have to apply yourself also how this is reliable and to reliable to which what extent. The web-based information sources, we see that how what is the relation between these three departments, that is corporate data, government data, and commercial database. You can see the shape. The government data is spherical in nature, and the corporate data and commercial data are elliptical in nature. And in between at the bottom, we have doubtful quality free stuff. That means this is what open platform consists of. Top Towards the top are the information resources of high quality, accuracy. and validity, and the sources towards the right have a wide coverage, that is scope, variety, and diversity. The interesting aspect of the web is that the information resources occupy all quadrants. In the upper center, the commercial online database vendors traditionally have supplied business with high quality information about numerous topics. More to the left, the government databases have become tremendously useful in recent years. That is why it is spherical. Each public information has often available only by spending many hours on manual labor at libraries or government offices. At the left, corporate websites often contain vast amount of useful information in white paper, product demos, audios, videos, and press releases, eliminating the necessity to attend trade exhibits to learn the latest and greatest in the market. Finally, the doubtful quality free that was at the bottom content occupies the lower half of the figure. Its values is not in the quality of any specific item, but it is constantly changing diversity. Now comes OLAP. OLAP is online analytical processing. We all know what online is. Now the thing is that today we are going to learn how this analytical processing is done. Earlier we have discussed the need for building an enterprise data warehouse, followed by discussion on its structure and ways and means of populating it with data. The data warehouse serves as a memory to the enterprise, but memory is of little use without intelligence. The tools that analyze data provides the intelligence. In this section and the one it follow, we discuss some of the tools available for assessing the data warehouse and transforming the data into information useful from point of view of the business or business intelligence. The term online analytical process was coined by Cott in 1993 to refer to a type of application that allows a user to interactively analyze data. OLAP is a method of analyzing data in a multi-dimensional format, often across multiple times periods, with the aim of uncovering the business information concealed within the data. OLAP enables business users to gain an insight into the business through interactive analysis of different views of business data, but have been built up with the operational system. OLAP can be defined as the source process of converting raw data into business information through multi-dimensional analysis. This enables analysts to identify business strengths and weaknesses, business trends, and underlying causes of these trends. It provides an insight into the business through the interactive analysis of different views of business information that have been built up from raw operating data, which reflects the business user's understanding of the business. The OLAP application contains logic, which includes multi-dimensional data selection, subsetting of data, retrieval of data via the metadata layer, and calculation formulas. Multi-dimensional OLAP, hybrid OLAP, desktop OLAP, and relational OLAP. These are different types of OLAP. Now, as far as multidimensional is concerned, it is based on multidimensional data based architecture. Relational products are designed to operate directly on the data warehouse, built on relational databases through a comprehensive metadata layer. Hybrid OLAP products primarily integrate specialized multidimensional data storage with relational database master technology. The desktop style of OLAP allows users to perform limited analysis directly against data held within a relational or object oriented database while avoiding many of the problems that affect hybrid and relational OLAP styles. Data visualization. Visualization means the data now is in the form of output. Business decision makers use data to identify opportunities, trends, and areas of concern in their respective businesses. Most data reaches the users in the form of tabular reports, which they find challenging to quickly and effectively absorb the information, spot patterns, identify abbreviations, and see hidden relationships. Data visualization applications render large quantities of data in the form of basic charts, graphical indicators, scorecards, dashboards, advanced visualization, animations, and virtual reality environment. By automating the fundamental aspect of data analysis, they help information users identify trends and patterns in data that are often not apparent in traditional tabular representations. Managers have found these applications very effective for viewing business activity at a glance. Data visualization involves graphical image generation by softwares, where the content of the image is determined by reading digital data. The data is usually numeric in nature, but some softwares can visualize concept drawn from the text documents. The software arranges geometric shapes such as points, lines, circles, and rectangles to create an interpretation of the data if it reads. Attributes such as proximity, size, and color express relationship between the geometric shapes. Three strong trends have been shaped the direction of data visualization software for business users over the last years. That is chart type, level of user interaction with visualization, and the third one is size and complexity of data structures represented by visualization. If we talk about chart types, most data visualization depends on the standard chart type, whether a rudimentary pie chart or an advanced scatter plot. The list of chart types supported by software has lengthened considerably in recent years. What is the level of interaction with visualization? A few years ago, most visualization was static charts for viewing only. As the cutting edge of data visualization today, dynamic chart types are themselves the user interface, where the user manipulates a visualization directly and interactively to discover new views of information online. Size and complexity of data structures represented by visualization. A rudimentary pie or a bar chart visualizes a simple series of numeric data points. Never advanced charts types, however, visualize thousands of data points or complex data structures such as neural nets. Data visualization has long been in use in software for the study of mathematical, statistical, geographic, and spatial data. Some data visualization softwares for business users has borrowed chart types originally designed for scientific uses, such as scatter plots and constellational graphs. What is good visualization? Effective ease of interpretation. It should be accurate. That means sufficient and correct quantitative evaluation should be there. Aesthetic must not offend viewers' senses. And the third one is adaptable, that it can adjust to severe multiple needs. Human perception and capabilities, and the fact that all display needs to be mapped to a two-dimensional flat computer screen or sheets of paper impose many limitations. For example, according to the one researcher, inaccuracy of human perception increases in the following order when the respective techniques are used for visualization. Position along a common scale, position along an identical non-aligned scale, length, angle, slope, area, volume, saturation, intensity, these are the conditions. The techniques commonly used to overcome the limitation of two-dimensional display and the size restrictions are scaling and offset of to fit in range, derived values to emphasize changes, projections and other combinations to compress information, random jiggling to separate overlaps, multiple views to handle hidden relation, that is high dimensions, and effective grids, keys and labels to aid understanding. Then comes data mining. Mining means extraction. According to Barry and Linoff, data mining is the exploration and analysis by automatic or semi automatic means of large quantities of data in order to discover meaningful patterns and rules. This definition justifiably raises the question, how does data mining differ from OLAP? OLAP is undoubtedly a semi automatic means of analyzing data, but the main difference lies in quantities of data it can handle. Why is data mining being part to use in more and more businesses? Here are some of the reasons. In today's world, organizations generates more information in a week than most people can read in a lifetime. It is humanly impossible to study, decipher, and interpret all the data to find useful patterns. Data warehouse pulls all the data after proper transformation and cleansing into well organized data structures. In recent times, many data mining tools suitable for a wide range of applications have appeared in the market. The tools and products are now mature enough for business use. Data mining needs substantial computing power, parallel hardware, databases, and other powerful components are available and are becoming very affordable. Organizations are placing enormous emphasis on building sound customer relationships. And for good reasons. Companies want to know how can how they can sell more to existing customers. Organizations are interested in determining which of their customers will prove to be a long-term value for them. The marketing it is the strategy of the marketing to pamper the person to purchase one plus one thing. Here, company thinks of. Companies need to discover any existing natural classifications among their customers so that they each can class may be properly targeted with product and services. What are the data mining techniques? Data mining covers a broad range of techniques. Each technique has been heavily researched in recent years and several mature and effective algorithms have evolved for each of them. The main techniques are cluster detection, decision tree, memory based reasoning, link analysis, rule induction, association rule discovery, outliner detection and analysis, neural networks, genet- genetic algorithms, and sequential pattern discovery. Now, where it is applied, data mining is applied. Other thing is that we always try to read, but we never expect where this is what we are being taught is being applied. Data mining technology emphasizes a rich population of proven techniques that cover a wide range of applications in both the commercial and non-commercial realm. In some cases, multiple techniques are used back to back to greater extent advantage. Non-commercial use of data mining is strong and pervasive in the research area. In oil exploration and research, data mining techniques discover locations suitable for drilling based on potential minerals and oil deposits. Pattern discovery and matching techniques have military applications in assisting to identify targets. Thirdly, medical research is a field ripe of data mining. The technology helps researchers with discoveries of correlation between disease and the patient characteristics. Crime investigation. Agencies use the technology to connect criminal profiles to crime. In astronomy and cosmology, data mining helps predict cosmetic events. Consider the following list of few major applications of data mining in the business area. First one is customer segmentation. This is one of the most widespread applications. Business use data mining to understand their customers. Risk master. Insurance companies and mortgage business use data mining to uncover risk associated with potential customers. Then comes your market basket analysis. This is very useful application for the retail industry. Association rule algorithm uncovers affinities between products that are bought together. Fraud detection. Credit card companies use data mining to discover abnormal spending patterns of the customer. Such patterns can expose fraudulent use of cards. Delinquency tracking. Loan companies use the technologies to track customers who are likely to default on repayments. Demand prediction. Retail and other businesses use data mining to match demand and supply demand trends to forecast for the specific product. What is the benefits of data mining? Without data mining, useful knowledge lying buried in the mountains of data in many organizations would never be discovered, and the benefits from using the discovered patterns and relationship would not be realized. With the enormous utility of data mining, the following list enumerates some real world situations. A mail order company improves direct mail promotions to prospects through more targeted campaigns. A departmental store hikes the sale in a specialty department by anticipating sudden surge in demand. A manufacturer of diesel engine increases sales by forecasting sales of engines based on pattern discovered from historical data of truck registration. A national health insurance provider saves large amount of money by detecting fraudulent claims. Now comes Unit 14, that is artificial intelligence application in decision making. We have heard so many things about artificial intelligence. Then the thing is that what is artificial intelligence all about? The advent of artificial intelligence is fact took place when the first modern computer emerged in the middle of last century. Frankly, what a computer does is that it stimulates collective thinking of several humans to process high volumes of data at high speed and accuracy. The growth of capabilities actually means that computers are becoming more and more competent of delivering more things than the human abilities. These enhanced competencies are then used to deliver more power in business activities. The goal of artificial intelligence scientists had always been to develop a thinking machine that solves problem in a way that would be considered intelligent if done by a human. This forms the basics of our definition to artificial intelligence. The term artificial intelligence was first introduced by McCarthy. Intelligence is the computational part of ability to achieve goals in the world. Artificial intelligence thus can be defined as a field that focuses on building techniques to enable computer systems to perform activities that are quick and are above human intelligence. The need of artificial intelligence has arisen because initially a need was felt to solve tiny and trivial problems. To counter this, it was felt necessary to use skillfully coded and real world knowledge and rules into a computer, which in turn simplifies the problem solving efforts. Artificial intelligence is not to replace human beings. No, nothing. It augments our abilities and makes us better at what we do. Artificial intelligence enhances the speed, precision, and effectiveness of human efforts in financial institutions. Artificial technique can be used to identify such transactions are likely to be fraudulent, adopt fast and accurate credit scoring, as well as automate manually intense metadata master tasks. Artificial intelligence is being used today in industries, hospitals, healthcare, education, agriculture, legal, R&D, branding, retailing, household, and what not almost everywhere. What are the goals of artificial intelligence? As works, AI works on the following goals. First one is emulate humans. From the very basic definition of artificial intelligence, it has become clear that artificial intelligence main goal is to identify solvable and not of the ordinary information processing system and solve them. Develop expert systems on real life problems. Artificial intelligence has real life problems in the world as the as its pivot. Artificial intelligence goal is to develop expert systems that stimulates the real world problems and solve them automatically. Third one is solve problems that require intelligence. Being it a program that plays chess or a system that has all intelligence of a dictionary. The primary aim of artificial intelligence has always been remained and studied and solve problems that are knowledge intensive and require a high degree of intelligence. Creating some system which can exhibit intelligent behavior, learns new things by itself, demonstrate, explain, and can advise to its users. Sixth one is enhance interaction. Artificial intelligence works for enhancing human behavior, human computer, and computer computer interaction. Computers have now accepting more and more varied use interface for input and output processes like voice, vision, and virtual reality, etc. We can find a lot of varied application of artificial intelligence. It has been applied in gaming, game playing, automated grammar checking, speech recognition, vision system, and expert systems like weather forecasting, diagnostic system, financial decision making, and classification system, computer simulated natural processes, mathematical theorems proving, natural language understanding, intelligent control and scheduling, and planning. Now, see, this is what a human mind does, human brain does. But now that is equivalent to a human brain. Now, let us see some of the examples of these applications. Artificial intelligence in automated grammar checking. You might have used a word processor and used its spelling and grammar checking feature. While spelling checking module works well, that is lot there has to be done in the grammar checking module. You might have seen that. Artificial intelligence in speech recognition. We have seen the software that types the word as one speaks. They are called phonetic typewriters. Speech understanding has found good commercial value in the recent time. The third one is artificial intelligence uh, in expert system. Artificial intelligence techniques have played significant role in creation of expert system for weather forecasting, diagnostic systems such as medical diagnosis, pathology diagnosis system, and customer assistant system. Financial decision making system like fraud detection system used in credit card companies. Artificial intelligence in mathematical theorem proving. There had been many attempts of proving mathematical theorems with the help of artificial intelligence tools. Inference methods are used to prove new theorems. Artificial intelligence in scheduling and planning. Automatic scheduling for manufacturing and rerouting schedulers for airlines, etc. Operation Desert Storm use these systems for planning logistics of people and suppliers. Artificial intelligence in healthcare. This is being applied to make a better and faster diagnosis than human. Artificial intelligence can help doctor with diagnosis and can perform inform the when the patients are worsening to the medical help can reach to the patient before hospitalization. Artificial intelligence in social media. Social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat contain billions of user profiles. which need to be stored and managed in a very efficient way. Artificial intelligence can organize and manage massive amount of data. It artificial intelligence can analyze lots of data to identify the latest trends, hashtag, and requirements of different users. Now, how this artificial intelligence is used in automotive industry. Some automotive industries are using artificial intelligence to provide virtual assistant to their user for better performance, such as Tesla has introduced Tesla Bot, an intelligent virtual assistant. Various industries are currently working for developing self-driven cars, which can make your journey more safe and secure. Artificial intelligence in robotics. AI has a remarkable role in robotics. Usually, general robots are programmed such that they can perform some repetitive tasks. But with the help of artificial intelligence, we can create intelligent robots which can perform the task with their own experience without pre programmed. Artificial intelligence in e commerce. It is providing a competitive edge to the e commerce industry and it is becoming more demanding in the e commerce business. Artificial intelligence is helping shoppers to discover associated products with recommended size, color, or even the brand. Building AI. While building artificial intelligence in an organization, one has to think about many factors such as observation, reasoning, and action. You might have seen different softwares for medical diagnosis. For example, homeopathic software contains a set of symptoms and test results that have been obtained and inputted to the system manually. When a patient inputs his system, then the diagnosis system matches it with the record ones to give a diagnosis. The key to artificial intelligence approach is intelligent search and matching. We normally say that we can find anything on Google. How that is possible? Think. Expert systems. The most noteworthy development in the field of artificial intelligence is the advent of expert or knowledge based system. Joint efforts by human experts yielded systems that can diagnose disease, fly planes, drive vehicles, and configure computer systems at performance level that can exceed the best human expertise. Question thus arises that what are expert systems? To put it more simply, expert systems are computer programs that use knowledge to solve problems completely and successfully. They are similar to human experts in the sense that they also use logic and heuristics to solve problems. They have also make error and they also learn from their errors. An expert is a person who, because of training and experience, is able to do things the rest of cannot. Experts are not only proficient but also smooth and efficient in action they take. And underlying the behavior of experts is the body of operative knowledge. We have termed expertise. Now we will move further. That is com- emerging trends of IT. What are the emerging trends? We have seen artificial intelligence. Now we move to emerging trends in information technology, competitiveness of ICT. User of information and communication technologies have proved us as the tool for increasing efficiency level in all spheres of operations. No organization can stand today without using ICT. The dramatic and continuing liberalization of the world trade is indeed a central feature in global economy and the spread of ICT. And goods derived from ICT have been rapid with an accompanying emphasis on the issues of competitiveness. An enterprise is said to be competitive if it can cut its share in international and domestic markets from its rivals. The term competitiveness can also be used in context of national economy to judge whether the nation is moving ahead in building market shares in business sectors that promote economic growth, employment, and other measures of social developments. The use of production of ICT is not itself a principal determinant of social welfare measures like growth or employment, but it does play an important role in the ability of nations to participate in economic activities where growth and employment prospects are more favorable than would be available otherwise. Every major change in global economic activities has witnessed a complete transformation of industrial growth patterns involving different processes, practices, and materials, yielding explicit gains. In industrial nations, most of the gains have been realized by the first half of 20th century, owing to rapid industrialization. During the second half of the 20th century, the industrial growth of developing nations may have been constrained by the existence of productive capacity of already industrialized nations. The ICT provides an opportunity for addressing manufacturing productivity advances in developing nations, which would allow a substantial expansion of industrial output. Because ICT are often labor saving, a large increase in output is necessary to raise the derived demand for labor through productivity improvement. Otherwise, the impact of ICTs would be reduced labor inputs, an undesirable and alarming outcome of developing nations if there are not sufficient employment alternatives. Technological improvement in semiconductors technology, as measured by the cost and speed of performing narrowly defined functions, has advanced at rates that were unprecedented for other manufacturing technologies such as power generation using fossil fuels or improvements in machine operating speeds through improvement in mechanical technology. Productivity gains from the use of information technologies involve improved control, smoother integration of production processes, and better control on the acquisition of inputs and the disposition of outputs. Communication technologies plays important role, particularly in coordination of functions, such as conveying timely information about inventories and scheduling throughout a distribution system. The productivity gains from the ICT are greatly realized through cost reduction in materials input, labor, and capital. In addition, ICTs usually make it possible to produce more or higher quality with the same level of input, resulting in productivity advances that are independent of changes in input use. Growth in the use of ICT in manufacturing appears to involve greater flexibility and changeover speeds, as well as shortened and accelerated flow of materials for processing, work in process, and finished good inventories. These changes suggest a transformation in methods of organizing production systems from traditional models of mass production. This is important for all the industries and sectors like manufacturing, education, health, pharmaceuticals, hospitals, governments, hospitality, etc. The use of ICT have also made it possible to expand other economic activities conventionally referred to as the service sector. The contribution of ICT in the service areas are apparent with the fact that ICTs are a major component in the predominant forms of physical capital that service industries employ. For developed nations, an increasing share of output in services is consistent with increasing investment in human capital or the dispersal of industrial activities domestically and internationally to reduce localized environmental problems. The growth of service provides domestic growth opportunities that can absorb labor displaced by productivity in work improvements in agriculture and industry that are less challenged by imports from developed or the developing nations. Developing and implementing the organizational change would permit ICT you to use or to have the same productivity impact in services as previous organization changes had in manufacturing sector. For example, in financial services, where the ICT do support economics of sales in transaction processing, they also permit the creation of many new services. ICT intensive retailing activities, the system that manufacturers employ must increasingly be compatible with the emerging new industrial models based on more extensive ICT use. Examples include the growing emphasis on international quality standards, that is IQS, with high level of information content, the specification of product design using computer aided design, what we call it as CAD, and manufacturing and CAM, and the coordination of product delivery such that just in time, that is JIT, and sales driven production using high level of ICT. Effective use of ICTs require knowledge from the range of discipline and the solution to difficult problems of synthesizing technological knowledge and managerial know-how. The absence of well-established models for effectively achieving this synthesis suggests that the creation of substantial variety of knowledge, creating and using capabilities will improve the likelihood of adaptive success in realizing the potentials from ICT use. Convergence of IT and consumer electronics, the emerging trends. Information is key to progress in decision making. It is so vital that it has created information age. The decision could be by a person or it could be automated by creating knowledge base from big data. Seeing the trend in the growth of electronic components used in computers, Gordon E. Murray have a prediction way back in 1965 that the number of transistors per silicon chip doubles each year. This is known as Moore's law. Now the question is why this is being taught over here. In all the computers and smart devices, silicon chips are used. Innovations are further development have resulted in bringing down the size of the actual product. The concept of large scale integration LSI and further very large scale VLSI came into existence because of which we find today small computing devices and IT tools with tremendous capabilities. This was discussed at the beginning of this course. The world has been the convergence to technologies. It will continue to be the important trend and the key to growth for various sectors within the broader technology arena. Use of internet has penetrated in all the sectors. Automation with Internet of Things IoT can be seen with tremendous application. The innovations are more rapidly seen in human networking, home appliances, games, Bluetooth devices, digital mapping, digital imaging, digital environmental platforms, wireless technologies, and digital radios receivers. These are the things which are available. One major aspect related to the above innovative technology is to develop emerging trends in IT, seamless wireless connections between small multifunctional devices in the home. The signal processing technology is playing tremendous role for digital audio, video cell phones, machine learning, broadband and wireless communication. Data science has become a separate discipline for mining, analyzing, and decision making. The expansion of broadband and high speed wireless networks have proved to be a key factor in the present and seems to continue in future proliferation of IT products to be used by common people in daily life. Fiber connectivity at home with internal internet applications like ITV clubbed with Bluetooth devices are providing endless services. Nowadays we have television that has inbuilt everything. It has to be simply connected to the internet and that too three through Wi-Fi and you can watch anything. Most of the advances in this direction will lead to developments in consumer electronic products, in which convergence of different technologies and applications will come up as natural process. The consumer electronic industry, in short, is entering a new era based on the promise of utilizing broadband and wireless technologies to promote the more widespread use of electronic devices. Advance in microelectronics further enhances the potential for consumer electronic devices to proliferate and be utilized well beyond what is in the market today. We have smartwatches, smartphones. I don't know. With the passage of time, what smart things will come. The internet enhance this function by providing direct access to the more data. Mobile, wireless, and wideband provides the consumer with all the above in one place and with greater access. The trend is leading many markets that were traditionally separate on a competitive collision course. Convergence trend had also been leading more hardware and software companies to become both hardware and software companies. Systems are open to share contents and associated resources. Digital technology is going further with developments keeping in view the ease of operations, with more and more features made available to users. Smartphones and devices with Android and iOS are playing major roles in the connecting persons with family, friends, and group globally. You see, we find desktop computers, laptops, and all other handheld devices such as tablets and smartphones useful in transmitting, downloading contents on the TV. In fact, we also find TV bypassing the computers entirely and getting its content by using set-top box supplied by the internet service provider. Now, in the present trend, set-top box is also not required. Smart TVs are there; they are doing everything of their own. With the passage of time, we were wearing watches. Mobile came, we can see the time in the mobile. Watch gone. Then came, we were using camera. Now the camera has been incorporated in the mobile itself. Camera is gone, your mobile is doing everything. Otherwise, earlier you have to sit on the desktop to work on web. Now that has been provided into your mobile. It is in your palm. Now further, what is there? Smartwatches. They can study your heartbeat. They can tell you time. They can make a call. They can receive a call. You have internet on it. Everything on a watch. Passage of time. Things are changing. Now for this, speed has to be maintained. New emerging trends features new innovative products with a focus on the convergence and consumer adoption of 4G, highlighting the growth potential after the success of 3G and GSM. 5G is already available in developed countries and going to be adopted by other countries in near future. India has already announced for its implementation in phased manner. The generation in wireless spectrum from GSM to 3G, 3G to 4G, and now to 5G have provided communication through airwaves. Each generation provides better speed to share data, voice, and videos over the network. The latest being 5G is supposed to be nearly 100 times faster than 4G with super high frequency airwaves, virtual reality, and augmented reality. There are another applications which have more penetration in the fields like gaming, education, and business. Augmented reality stimulates artificial objects in the real environment, whereas virtual reality creates an artificial environment to stay in the place using simulation. The technologies will go on a long way to make a profound impact. Now comes e commerce, essential components and future issues. E commerce is widely used application of internet for business organizations. It is most accomplished buzzword which gained popularity even aftermath of so-called .com technology boom and diffusion in adopting web technology. Every business today necessarily requires active support of IT tools, especially internet, for maintaining websites and for unified communication. Use of this has been experienced in the pandemic period on online services towards purchase of consumer goods, household goods, entertainment, gaming, education, and many more for the survival. Wireless Internet. All business companies in the field of communication are developing and making wireless communication services and products required for facilitating business through wireless internet. Instant unified messaging are available to customers and other involved in connecting faster. Anything you can do on internet can be accessed via your WAP, that is wireless application protocol, cell phone. WML, that is wireless markup language, has been designed for devices with small displays. It is based on XML language. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a wireless technology which is used low cost, short range radio links between mobiles, PCs, mobile phones, PDAs, and other portable devices. By using Bluetooth, users can connect a wide range of telecommunication and computing devices without cable, giving much relief to organizations and users. Data updated on one device is automatically transferred to the other connected device seamlessly. Portals. Portals are the organization's websites for making business. They combine a portfolio of basic content, communication, and commerce sites. For the most part, they started out as search engines. There are mainly two types of portals, vertical and horizontal portals. However, with the wide range of applications, they can be categorized in different types of portals. Vertical portals are the sites that focus on a particular content, category, commerce opportunity, or audience segment with a broad set of services. Example of such portals are chemical industry, construction plus, eBay, etc. And horizontal portals are web portals which focuses on wide range of topics and interests for general audience. For example, google.com, msn.com. Further categories could be geographical portals, that is countryweb.com, craigslist.com, access portals, aol.com, orange.uk. Orange.co.uk, media portals, that is bbc.co.uk, search portals, arcs.com, google.com, bing.com, and portals as razorpay.com, PayPal, Paytm, Google Pay, etc. Now you have heard all these names. Then comes your online shopping. The biggest hurdle in online shopping faced by the customer is lack of opportunity to physically verify the suitability of the product for his or her needs. In some category of products, it becomes almost impossible to make a decision based on the passive display of product. Innovation in these directions are aimed to remove this hurdle, and some of the sites have shown a path to resolve this problem. What we see in the app, we don't that what they are working on it. Catering websites to customers' presence increase the depth of knowledge and builds brand loyalty. This is known as site presentation. Personalization means presenting the site visitor with specific information based on his or her identity or behavior. It is all about making the content more relevant for the user. The tools for personalization includes clickstream tools, which watches the pages that the visitor browses and keeps track of the time spent. Now see, whatever you are doing on the app is being monitored by someone. Thus, they know when the customer has been on the site. As soon as you come on the site, they pop up with something what you like, but last time you have left it. Privacy in the context of e-commerce. One of the most controversial topic in e-commerce today is the privacy of customers. The most common apprehension are like, what are they doing with their own information? Why do they want it? What will they do to our or so-called private lives? In order to business to build lasting and fulfilling relationship with the customer, they need to know much as about them as possible. However, as all of us are aware, this information is being used for purposes other than to serve us. The big question of e-commerce is how to collect their customers' information yet still maintain their trust. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing on Google is being monitored, observed by the third person. This has been an issue right from the beginning and will go further in future. E-businesses will have to learn to balance personalization with privacy issues. However, the reality is that routinely being sold and used for purposes other than the reason the information was originally gathered. Personalization on the web takes place two basic forms: collaborative filtering and profiling. Both are the attempts to collect specific information that will be valuable to generating additional traffic, click throughs, and revenue on websites. Collaborative filtering is voluntary. It takes information provided by the user and predicts what information will be of his interest to him or her. In profiling, a visitor's actions are observed and gathered through the use of cookie, a unique identifier for that customer. Subsequent user clicks identify patterns of behaviors and interest, which result in the presentation of specific information to website visitors. There is always the ability to allow the collection of information or an individual's cookies across multiple sites. What are the standards for e-commerce? A need for a standard in e-commerce has been recognized, and the standards for internet commerce was developed by Global Information Infrastructure in association with Ziff Davis. GII is defined as a seamless web of interactive communications developed at worldwide level to provide the infrastructure for new services and activities based on the strategic use of all types of information. The Commerce Standard in is a codification of best practices in internet commerce developed by a community of world leading thinkers and practitioners. It specifies the merchant practices and policies that lead to high level of customer satisfaction, service, security and privacy. The standard for internet commerce met five primary needs. Together, these five needs make it crucial that the commercial commerce standard is developed and implemented. The standard for internet commerce is needed. First, to increase consumer satisfaction and confidence in doing business on the internet by merchant and customers as a way to establish merchant credibility and trustworthiness. To help merchants provide a world class customer experience, innovative, rapidly, and lower cost. To support and enhance self regulation of internet commerce, and to help merchants and customers deal with a proliferation of guidelines and symbols, and to help merchants and customers follow the norms set up by the authorities and regulatory bodies to safeguard the business transactions and customer interest. Blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. You might have heard of these names. A typical database storage data on a particular subject accessible to users. The user of this database could be at one place in the organization or scattered over different regions. Distributed databases are those available at different places and accessible through network for sharing the content by authorized users. Blockchain technology is based on the concept of distributed database. It is a structure that stores transactional records of the public in several databases connected over the network of users. Traditional records are called blocks. The database are known as chain. In the network connected to the peer-to-peer nodes, typically this storage is referred to as digital ledgers. Every transaction in this ledger is authorized by the digital signature of the owner, which authenticates the transaction and safeguard it from tampering. This guarantees the safety of the information contained in the digital ledger. To understand better, a digital ledger is like a Google spreadsheet shared among numerous computers in a network, in which the transactional records are stored based on the actual activities performed. To be more precise, a blockchain is shared among the nodes of computer network. As a database, a blockchain stores the information electronically in digital format. Blockchains are best known for maintaining a secure and decentralized record of transactions using digital currencies. Blockchain is based on trust without the need for a trusted third party. The goal of blockchain is to allow digital information to be recorded and distributed but not added. In this way, a blockchain is the foundation of immutable ledgers or records of transaction that cannot be altered, deleted, or destroyed. This is why blockchain are known as distributed ledger technology (DLT). Because of the decentralized nature of blockchain, all transactions can be transparently viewed by either having a personal node or using Blockchain Explorer that allows anyone to see the transactions occurring live. Since, yes, Miss Grace, what is your question?
Thank you, sir. What did you say about the blockchain? It's a digital what? It's a software, is it?
This is
What is it?
basically for the transaction, whatever you are doing, it is recorded. It has to be recorded somewhere. Now, if it is to be recorded, then where to record it? This is recorded in a spreadsheet that is similar to a Google spreadsheet. Date, time, amount, mode, all this is stored. And with the passage of time, I don't know you had been using any app for purchasing or not. You yourself on the app, you can see which transaction was made by you on which date, time, and the place and for how much that was done. This all is recorded on a spreadsheet. And now the thing is that the process has been initiated by you, completed by you. The server shows that the payment has been made. Once the payment has been made, so then the second part starts. That is the related to the organization from where for to which whom you have made the payment. Now they initiate the process of sending the goods to you. So everything is recorded in three parts: at your system, at the database, and at the computers of the organization. And no doubt it is happening, and we are doing it. And everybody in this world is now doing it. Earlier, people were using it, but they were not aware of. Now, people are using it and they are aware of it, partly aware of it. As I was saying, that since records stored in the blockchain are encrypted, only the owner of the record can decrypt it to reveal their identity. This is done by using public-private key pair. The currency used in blockchain is named as cryptocurrency. It is digital currency and that can exist in any form, digitally or virtually. It uses cryptography to secure transactions from peer to peer without involving any bank or regulatory mechanism. It is not in terms of physical money to be carried out for exchange. They are purely as digital entities to an online database. When you transfer in cryptocurrency, then the transactions are recorded in a public ledger. Cryptocurrency is stored in digital wallets. Because of the cryptocurrency used to verify transaction, it has been named as cryptocurrency. Advanced coding. Next step comes. Advanced coding is involved in storing and making transactions to provide security and safety. Units of cryptocurrency are created through a process called mining. This process involves computers to solve complicated mathematical problems by using encryptions to finally generate digital coins. Users can use also buy the currency from broker, then store and spend those using cryptographic wallets. The first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which was founded in 2009 and remains the best known today. Bitcoin uses, as stated above, peer to peer technology to operate with no central authority or banks. It is open source and can be accessed by all. Nobody owns or controls Bitcoin. Managing transactions and issuing of Bitcoin is carried out collectively by the network. Transactions are secured by cryptographic signatures, preventing other people from spending your money. Now, with this, we have completed the content of MMPC 8. Now, I would like to ask if you have any questions regarding this content or any query from anyone regarding MMPC 8. That was, or that is rather, Information System for Managers. Any question from anyone?
What are expert systems, sir?
What, please?
And I'm referring to artificial intelligence. Would you know what expert systems are?
The function the human mind thinks. Human mind thinks of within a fraction of second. Now we are trying to make something which works like a human brain. Expert system and artificial intelligence. These are two sides of a coin. We are replacing or we are finding out a machine which thinks like a man. In respect of that, we think that speed will increase, accuracy will increase. You might have heard that robots are being used, and robots are being used in mass production. Basically, they are used in automobile industries. All automobile majors are using robots, and robots are being also used in hospitals for the operation purpose, and they are being used by what we call it as dietary department. There are machines which are working like a robot. They are taking food from the kitchen to the patient. Normally, that is distributed by one uh, people, but now the same thing is being performed by robots in some hospitals. So that is artificial intelligence is what machine is thinking in comparison with human brain. This is simply what if you ask me what is a plus b whole square, I will straight away set without thinking of doing anything a square plus 2ab plus b square. Similarly, if we are asking a machine, the machine will answer it. And if you ask from which side of the earth the sun rises, the machine will reply east. Who told this to the machine? How many things can you decipher or you can store in the machine? Then, what is the expert system and what is the human being and what is the artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is a part of expert system. With the passage of time, we we get experience of that at a particular age we are going to answer anything, but there are still so many things which we say sorry we don't know it. We are thinking trying to generate a machine which is at par with human mind, human brain. Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
So can this be
Thank you.
session be concluded over here?
What did you say about conclusion of this? Repeat yourself,
I'm
sir.
just saying can we I'm just saying that can we conclude this session over here?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yeah, yes, we can, sir.
Okay, so that means we will be meeting again after 2 hours.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem, sir.
That is for MMPC 9. I will be
Okay, sure. Thank
discussing
you.
some important part. I
Okay,
will be
sir.
discussing some important things for that part, for the MMPC 9.
Okay, sir.